So today the topic is, what was the greatest moment in your life? As dramatic as it sounds, everyone has one. And if you think about it for about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, something will pop up. And the goal in this is to think of something outside of your ex. And it's a moment. It's not a period of time. It's not when you had your first year of college. It's an exact moment. It's something that happened that brought you joy and was unforgettable. And I'm going to wait to 4 people on deck already. Right on. I'm going to wait maybe till we get 8 or 9 people on to share my greatest moment in my life. And it probably would surprise some people. I think I've mentioned it before on other. What's up, Nav34D? How you doing? Couldn't sleep and got your notification. Sweet. Hi, Mac and everyone. Hippie Chick's on deck. Right on. Always willing. What was the greatest moment in your life outside of your ex? So this is a good topic because it proves to yourself actually that there are some things and some events in your life that were truly special or wonderful that weren't any part of your ex. And sometimes when you ask yourself this question, just go with the first thing that comes to your mind. That's what your subconscious is telling you. Don't go and try to be creative or go, oh no, that wasn't the greatest moment. Go ahead and write it out and share. What was the greatest moment? What was the greatest moment in your life? Whatever pops up first. If you could share that, Nav34D or Hippie Chick or the other couple people out there. Mate, you wouldn't believe what happened. Can I ask for your opinion? Absolutely. That's what I'm here for, Chief. Especially because you were first. The way I'm rolling these live streams is I'll have a topic, but if you have a question and I can help you with it, I'll do my best. So what was your greatest moment in your life? And I actually, what's up, Ozzy 411? Miami, little Miami Vice. Ozzy, what's your greatest moment in your life outside of your ex, Chief? I actually, as a teacher, I did this in class with 40 different students, and their age was about 21 to 22. And after we did the greatest moment, we talked about what emotions were there. And a big part of your greatest moment is surprise and recognition, winning something. But let me know in the comments, unless you guys don't want to share your greatest moment, unless it's private. I don't know. You can tell this is going to start off a good. We got 6 on deck already. So I'm going to wait till about 9 people, and then I'll share my greatest moment. And like I said, I've had it in a video before, and it might surprise some people because the greatest moment in your life doesn't necessarily mean money. Fucking outstanding, bro. Nice one, Ozzy. Thanks for graduation from military school, especially airborne school. Wow, that's an achievement. So, and that Army for life. Ooh, yeah. My father was in the Marines. Good for you, man. That's an achievement. You worked towards it. It was it's interesting. I graduated college, and I found graduating college, which took me 5 or 6 years because I was always working. I was working full time, paying my own bills, which I was happy to do. Didn't get student loans or anything like that. But I remember thinking it was anticlimactic. You know what I mean by anticlimactic? In other words, I thought it would be something that I would be really excited about. And I actually was thinking, I still want to take classes. I kind of liked school at that point. But I could see something like graduating military school. It's probably a deep breath, like, whew, yeah, got through that. And it's something you're always proud of. What's up, Dylan? DB? Tasmanian's finest? Land of the apples? And the Tasmanian devil? Dylan, you got a greatest moment in your life you want to share? The first thing that comes to your head? Don't overthink this, people. Don't think like, oh, well, I have a better one. Whatever comes first to your head, just share it. Because the idea of this is, if you're going through it with your ex, which a lot of times you come to my channel for, is sometimes you can flip your thoughts and be like, remember that greatest moment, put yourself back in that situation, and just kind of, just like you're getting bad memories about your ex, you can shift to whatever that greatest memory is and go, okay, that, life wasn't all that bad. That was such a great day, and go back through it. And sometimes they recommend this in NLP, where they say that DP's on deck, Mayo's on deck. I'd have to say moving out of my parents at 18 years old. And I bet the first night in that apartment, I moved out when I was 19. I was about 19, I think. My dad said, "You're paying for your room." And I started paying for my room immediately, like right at the end of 18, something like that, 18, 19. I was going to junior college. I was working. I was busy. It wasn't like I was sitting around the house. My dad was like, "I'm not doing you any favors by letting you have a free room." I remember my friends were like, "What?" And I think my dad charged me $275, and that was 20 years ago, which I could do, but I remember writing that fucking check and going, "Damn, dude." And then I came home one day. I'm like, "Dad, can you move the truck so I can wash my car?" He's like, "Nope." And then that's when I went, all right, this is going to be difficult. I moved out within 6 months, got my first studio apartment. And that, I don't know if it was the greatest moment at the time, because at the time I was thinking, like, I moved far away from my family. I had a lot of mixed emotions, but over time, it was a great thing I did. My dad was always proud of getting me out of the house that way. And it was a good thing, because a lot of friends stayed home for a long, long time, and it impedes your growth. And the crazy thing when you move out, Mayo, this is what I always remember. And everyone else out there that moved out for the first time, tell me I'm wrong, is you first go to the grocery store, right? And I remember going to the grocery store and being like, fuck, dude, I got to buy toilet paper. I got to buy cleaning products with my money. Totally unappreciated the fact that my parents, had been buying these kind of items that add up, but they're just not fun to spend your money on. I remember thinking like, damn, I bought dishwashing soap. I don't want to spend my money on this. It's when you move out, it's fucking, that's growing up, dude. And then the other part of it, though, is you come home, you can do whatever you want, right? All right, let me get to NAB 34D. X rang me today asking for a favor. She asked me the same thing a couple of weeks back, and I said no. Now she's asking again. I asked a few people, and they're saying mind games. How should I go about it? Well, I don't know what the favor is, so that would help. Is it something you actually want to do for her, or you don't want to do? What would be your intention in doing it and not doing it? If someone's in dire need on a human level, besides playing X games, if some X called me up and says, I need this money to pay for a hospital bill, then I got to look at it as a human thing rather than just playing games with my ex. But if it seems petty and it seems out of character for her and it seems like she's just trying to rope you in, then I would say no. But use your own judgment and ask yourself, do you want to do the favor for her? Even if it wasn't your ex? I lost 140 pounds 10 years ago, my greatest accomplishment. That's fucking outstanding. 140 pounds. Wow, that's a lot of weight to lose. Jeez. Yeah. It was a studio on top of a Greyhound bus station. When the buses would stop in front of my TV would go out because I had bunny ears. Mayo, how old are you? If you don't want to share, it's fine, because I'm 38. So my first apartment, studio apartment next door to a drive-through for KFC. That's not a joke. The drive-through was right next door. I could hear people making their orders. And it was about 10 blocks down from the beach in Pacific Beach in San Diego. Nice area. $750. That seems like a lot still, actually. It's for something 18 years ago. That was a nice chunk of my on my own, no surgery. Cheers to that. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that surgery where they shrink their stomach and stuff. Good for you. That's a fucking achievement. And like what I would ask is in that. Here's a different interesting thing about that greatest moment. And here's the funny thing: when you thought about it, did you get a little smile? Did you get a little nice feeling for a second? Did it bring something to the table? $410 a month. Well, the area I lived, like, I think because I was like, if I'm going to move out on my own, I'm going to go all in. I want to live by the beach. So I went to the area that was more expensive, and it ate up my check, man. It ate up my check, but I was able to pay the first few months, and then I got a roommate. Then I moved somewhere down the street, got a roommate. You know, you make shit happen after you get yourself out on that island. 35, good age, dude. Good age. A lot of knowledge in your mid-30s. $410 a month. Basically, I helped the homeless. She found a homeless guy. I talked to him, but he was very rude to me. I told her I can't help him due to his attitude. She wants me to help him, but I'm very cautious. Dude, if you're helping the homeless, fucking outstanding. Good for you. Pat on the back. But you can choose who you help and who you don't help based on your own intuition. So if you feel like this person's being rude or someone you just don't want to help because you get bad vibes, move on to the next homeless person that's considerate, kind, and accepting of your gracious act. I mean, if you're going to go out of your way and do something nice for people, you don't need to get your spit in the face in the process. Yes, it reminds me I'm stronger than give myself credit for it. Yes, it reminds me I'm strong. Come back to that. When you're feeling down, come back to this greatest moment in your life, dude. You know, like, because sometimes it can put you on deck, and it can put you in a state where you're like, wow, that was a really good moment. I forgot how strong I am, or whatever it is. Nike won. San Diego. What up, Coach? Mr. Last, the greatest moment of my life is the moment that I am blessed to live right now. I've had the fight to get where I'm at. Just happy to still be here. Well, that gave me a couple chills, dude. Right on. Right on. But did you ever have, maybe that's a great statement. I'm not going to discount that anyway. But did you have something flash in your head? Because I remember we had a live coaching and you said you were into sports. I bet there was a sport moment that's pretty high up there. But that's a great statement. That's a great thing to be right now. I'm with you. But do you have something else where you're like that would come in number 2? Thanks, Coach. My greatest moment was coming to Singapore by myself. Singapore's that's a place to make some dough, man. Very hot and humid, though. I loved it so much. It was my first time traveling as an adult. Yeah, I've been there once. Highly expensive, very clean, lots of retail outlets, very humid and hot. And I live somewhere humid and hot. I thought it was hotter than Phuket. But cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. Maybe it was your first serious place that you traveled. But there's some people that tell me that they really like Singapore. BG on deck as usual. They really, really like Singapore for a variety of reasons. And BG is actually from Singapore. That's random as hell. Come visit. Let me get you lunch or dinner. I appreciate that, BG. Maybe it'll happen in the future. As this thing grows and stuff. Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember when I was there years back in Singapore, it was so expensive that the love chat. Good luck on your growth. Cheers, buddy. Right on, Rory. Thanks for joining for a moment here. I know you're a busy guy. I know you got a lot of things going on. Good luck on your growth. Okay. Grateful because after my 8-year relationship ended, I lived in a 10x10 office for 9 months with my cat. Love chat. Rory, you want to share your greatest moment in your life? If this is the one I'm thinking of. Grateful because after my 8-year relationship ended, I lived in a 10x10 office for 9 months with my cat. Bought the house I'm in now 6 years ago in June. Sweet, man. Sweet. You bought the house I'm in now 6 years ago, man. You're making moves. So that was 29. You're 29 years old. You got your first house. That probably was one of your greatest moments. Yep, it's where I think my greatest moment was when I accepted that happiness and validation comes from within rather than seeking it elsewhere. There was a moment that happened, though. That's my question. Is I'm looking for the idea of a specific moment. Was there I think my grades when I accepted, was there a specific moment that brought that on, Mr. Rory? I find that traveling really helps you learn a lot about yourself. It's really therapeutic and healing. I think traveling challenges you. And if you're open when you're traveling, some people aren't open. You realize that the rest of the world has different ways of doing things. And in the beginning, you're like, what the hell? Why is this person doing this or doing that? You know what I mean? There's different ways to cut an apple. There's different ways to do things. And you're kind of like, at first, wait a minute, we don't do that in the States this way. But then as you travel and you meet new people, I've lived abroad for a long time. It's really opened up my eyes. You realize, wow, there's 2 ways to do things. There's 3 ways to do things. The chaos of being in my mid-20s years ago, probably not so much of a moment, more of a collection of moments. Okay, a little bit broad, but I'm with you. Okay. So your greatest moment was prolonged. But I'm saying, like, was there an epiphany moment? You know, like in a breakup, there's a moment when you break up, and I've talked about this before, where someone goes, I'm done, right? I'm done because this, and this happened, or this is the final nail in the coffin, as I've heard you say before, Rory. And a moment could be something that a greatest moment could just be something really small. And a lot of times, in my opinion, it can be something that just lasted in that moment. So, but I'll roll with that. Validation comes from within rather than seeking it elsewhere. And that's a great thing to realize. That's enlightening. A moment that always stood out to me was I had a teacher I was very close with, showed up to school dressed like me one day on Halloween. And when asked what he was, he said, my heroes said he always. Wait, a moment that always stood out to me. I had a teacher I was very close with, showed up to school dressed like me one day on Halloween. And when asked, he said he was, what he said was my hero. Okay, so he dressed up like you and said you were his hero? Wow, that's amazing, dude. I'm sorry, the end of that, I just, the wording I got off. One of the greatest moments of my life, I think, was deciding what my dream job was going to be in grade 12. I'm going to be a singer and work with Justin Bieber. That's actually my nickname. I'm his #1 fan. Well, good for you. Good for you. Go for it, man. Have a finish line. Admired who I was and the strength I displayed considering my circumstances. That's a fucking outstanding teacher, dude. Teachers are underrated. Actually, I've been a teacher, so I'm speaking bias. But the power of the compliment and, doing something nice for someone goes a long ways, and it carries weight, right? So I'll share. I got 9 on deck. I'll share my biggest moment. I've talked about this in a video, and it might surprise you because it's not as deep as some of these things. I was in 8th grade. I was on the basketball team, and we were in a tournament in Nevada. And this tournament was, probably the biggest tournament we had been in. We played like 40 games. Our coach was great. He went above and beyond to get us all these games and stuff. I was a starter on the basketball team. We're down 3 points, and there's 10 seconds on the clock. You with me? 10, 9, 8. I pass it to my friend. My friend, I'm calling for the ball back. My friend passes it back. 3, 2, 1. Ice. Swished it. I was about 11 or 12 years old, 8th grade. I hit the shot, clutch. I hit the shot, and it was just like, woo! It's like, and I tied the game, right? I tied the game. I didn't win the game, but I remember the utter joy. I was jumping up, and you watch basketball now, or you watch sports, and you see how people go fucking nuts and go crazy, and that emotion and everything. I had that in that moment. It's not like I was on the Lakers or the Warriors or won the championship, but I had all that emotion in that moment, and I just tied the game. Then I went on to, with that momentum, I went on and I hit 2 more layups immediately after I took the guy off the dribble, went to the hoop, and it just felt surreal. It was like you're in the zone or you're in that state of flow. And when I'm saying this, I was in the starting 5, but I wasn't the best player on the team per se. I wasn't the go-to guy. I was actually the captain of the team, one of the little guys on the team. But that moment, compared to how deep some of your moments are, it might seem a little shallow. But in that moment, I remember just feeling so joyful and great. And then we went on to win in overtime. People are coming up to you after the game and they're like, "Oh, great shot," this and that. And whenever that comes up in my head, it brings me like a moment of like, yeah. And then probably my second greatest moment is I came to Thailand to teach, and I got my first teaching job. And I remember walking down the street on a hot, hot day, no motorbike, no form of transportation, and just going. I had this plan in my head for 8 or 9 months, didn't know what it was going to be like, and just going like, all right, you did it, you're here. And it was just like a collection of thoughts. Hey, coach, I've been talking with this lady over text. I met in an app. Do you think I should pull back? She won't be back to the States in about 3 months. She was working out of the States, so she's abroad. I would need to know more about the situation, but I wouldn't put a lot of stock and time into someone that's not going to be in the States in 3 months, and you're just talking to them. You should definitely be seeing other women and leaving your options open. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. In this particular case, if she's not even going to be over in 3 months. I'm not telling you to be a player necessarily, but if the conversation and at some point, let me rewind. I've been talking with this lady over text. At some point you need to talk on FaceTime and get some back and forth and actually get on video to actually see what she looks like and see her connection. But if you guys are having a good connection, not through text, I would rather do it through video call. Then why not have some nice long chats? That's fine if you're connecting, but just don't put a lot of stock into it. Make sure you're seeing some other women and got other things going on, spinning some other plates, as the Rollo Tomasi puts it in The Rational Male. I coached a year in high school, boys a couple of years younger in 2000. I saw this happen to me, but we won by 1. Absolute bliss, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. Nike won. You played baseball and stuff. Some sports moments and stuff like that. Maybe some people find it shallow or something because you're like, oh, I was the best player in that moment. I don't think it is. It's an absolute grand moment in your life. And like I said, I'm 12 years old. I hit the game-winning shot. There was no different feel than Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant hitting the same shot in a bigger moment on a bigger stage. Maybe the crowd was louder, but the feeling was still the same. And I think in Little League, we won a World Series. How to have better communication skills in being in a relationship. How to have better communication skills in being in a relationship. I would probably study that and read a few different books. I had the Gary Payton son of the glove with the zipper back then. The shoes, the Gary Payton shoes. I remember those. Right on. Good knowledge, Mayo. Good knowledge. So I don't want to turn this into a complete basketball thing because I'm a basketball junkie in some ways. Probably because of that greatest moment. And you know what? Going back to Rory or going back to Nike One, these moments, these greatest moments really define what you do in your life later on, I believe. That's probably why I have such an interest in basketball. And I did some coaching. I coached the YMCA as a volunteer for, I think the kids were 7 and 8 year range, no pay. And that was outstanding, man. I'm going. Yes, sir. I'm going back to Cali. Great song. I'm going back to Cali today. Be there for a month, my friend. Brash Cats on deck. Remember, what was the LL Cool J song with Cali? That's I'm going back to Cali is B.I.G., but the LL Cool J one is that's the same thing. I'm confused now in my head because there's two different Cali songs. I think they switched them up. E.g., one thing if you're having trouble with communications, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Clever. A lot of people like that. I think Mayo said he read that. The original is Ladies Love? I don't know, Brash Cat. I'll have to look that up. Because B.I.G. always sampled everything. Cool J. That's a great LL Cool J's beats early on. He's underrated sometimes. I'm bad at communication. Mama said, knock you out. I'm bad at communication overall because I have a hard time being assertive and asking for my needs being met, working on that now. Well, part of the process is realizing what's the problem. And then the next part of the process is realizing that you can change it. Take the other part you have to realize it just takes time. It takes practice. The quickest way to change North Carolina, because I've mentioned that a few times. Because there's actually, I have a live coaching today, and the ladies from South Carolina or North Carolina. I have these people from North and South Carolina. PD Pablo, that's good knowledge. The problem is being too careless. I'm trying to think of a book that would how to have better communication skills in a relationship. There's a book. I'm going to take a moment to look on my library on Audible, excuse me. So I'll get this right. And the title of the book, I didn't think the book was going to be as good as it was, but it was really good. I haven't suggested this book to a lot of people. The Tactical Guide to Women. And like I said, I thought, oh, this is a little cheesy, the title, but it's good. Maybe this is this guy talks about everything. Sean T. Smith. Check that book out. I thought it was good. Oh, you're throwing scores up now? Oh, okay. Tactical Guide to Women. Check that book out, E.G. You have a lot of these broad questions. It's really good at this point. And if I remember correct, you're a bit younger. You're in your early 20s. It's a good time. Read this book, The Tactical Guide to Women. Read Models by Mark Manson. Get some info on these things. And if you don't want to read them, go on audio. And this is the way this will answer a lot of questions. I don't spin too much plates. I keep venting these women that are gold diggers and want to get married. The lady I'm speaking to is a professional and working in a dangerous country, can't FaceTime. I'm just saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, Ozzy. That's it. If you don't want to spin too much plates, that's fine. That's up to you. I'm not telling you how many plates to spin, but don't be spinning one. You don't. If you're single right now and you're talking to someone, I'd call this talking to them. I mean, you're not even dating. You're talking, right? That's what you'd call it, like in high school or college, right? When I was a kid, if you put all that weight on it, then you overcompensate. Does that make sense? So I'm saying, like, if you don't want to spin too many plates and there are a lot of gold diggers that want to get by. Yeah, the hypergamy thing. I'm with you. But having the attitude that these women that are gold diggers and that want to get married, doesn't mean there's some out there that aren't like that. You know what I mean? Where are you going to meet women? But if you have that kind of attitude, you're going to keep coming up with the same group over and over again. That's the biggest thing. And people ask questions in dating is demographics, man. Where are you actually making your presence known? Where are you meeting these women? I'm not against dating apps at all. Sometimes people love them. Sometimes people hate them. Some people talk shit. But where are you meeting these people? It's Mac and Rory in here. Well, Rory was here for a minute. I don't know if he left already. Proned. And Gil, I sent you an email in regards to that. So maybe we could talk this weekend if you want to unpack what's going on or send a little longer version of your story. Because you got a lot going on. You had a 17-year thing. Highly recommended. No More Mr. Nice Guy. I got to revisit that book. Well, thanks. If you put me there with the 2 greatest coaches with Rory, I'll take that. Thank you, sir. Throw some likes up, people. Throw some likes up on that. Cheers. Did plenty of that. Still do it in my downtime. I zero in on one woman, but you really need to experience it. Well, the next book, Mayo, is The Rational Male, which I said, The Rational Male is a bit obnoxious. I don't agree with all his lingo, but the underlying ideas, Aussie 411, you should check out that book. If you maybe you already have. You seem like you're up on a lot of this stuff, but I think that book opens up a lot. And I'm not saying someone to follow that book specifically, but I think it gives a good perspective. How about that plug on the LC live stream? Thanks, Mayo. I appreciate it. You're on chapter 3. Okay. Like I'm revisiting it right now. I'm almost at the end. I've listened to it already. And I forgot how, he uses all these PUA and all these different things. But the messages that are conveyed in it, for the most part, 70 to 80% are what people need to hear sometimes, especially in the Western world. But you take what you want from any book. And that's the thing. If someone goes, oh, this is the greatest book on this, read it, take what you want, digest it, spit out what you don't like, take some notes on it. That's what I love about Audible. You can take a clip note real quick, and you can keep those notes. And that I'm sitting on a bunch of notes. That's why I'm going to do a book review channel at some point. I just want to format it in a way that's the best way for you guys to get some knowledge from it. That's the thing. I'm not a nice guy, nor I'm not a bad guy. It's just hard for me to have opening, decent conversation with someone. Well, you need to fucking practice. E.g., I'll tell you this. If you want to, I had another client. He's in New York. He's Indian. Okay. And he's in his early 20s. And cool dude, working his ass off. He's getting a master's degree. Ozzy, he actually lived out in Miami before this guy. He moved to New York City. I don't know the school he was going to exactly, but he was getting some kind of computer engineering master's degree. And he was working as a messenger or something like that. Well, the job that he had, he's just delivering packages and doing different things. Hated his boss, wasn't getting paid a lot. And I'm like, and he's having trouble approaching women, right? Well, I said, first of all, and he had an accent, so he felt really conscientious about his Indian accent in New York, that people were making fun of him. He's going to bars and clubs and cold approaching women, right? And I said, well, I'm not telling you not to do that. That takes balls, but change your demographics. Go to a cafe, go to a library. You're a really good student. That's where you shine. But on the flip side, I said, get a job where you're forced to go up to people regularly. Doesn't mean that for the rest of your life you're going to be a salesman, right? When I was 16, I had jobs in retail stores. And what do you do all day? You go up to people. Hey, how you doing? Did you need some help? You know how many different people I worked with, different ages, and the amount of times I had to cold approach people to buy something. It's just second nature. I'll talk to a stranger anywhere in the world and start a conversation. And that's when you make it a practice deeper than just trying to pick up a hot woman, pick up a hot chick. And it's just a practice that you do, that you're just friendly and outgoing. And that makes it a lot easier. And so whatever job you have right now, e.g., switch to a job and just make it for 6 months or a year, just to force yourself in a position where you have to approach people. I was 11 years old. I had a paper route. I had to go knock on people's doors and ask them to pay me $6.25 for the month. And that's the kind of things that will make you not shy or opening decent conversations. And you learn it by doing it and having to do it. And you don't want to go read a book and do all those other things, and then you didn't do any practice. See, if you're one of those people and you're like, oh, that girl, that chick, and you go up to her and you haven't worked on how to open a conversation on other people that are just random, you're gonna get nervous. I'm tired of hearing exercise to get over your ex. Did I say that recently? Are you exercising? That's a good question, Gil. It is the number one thing suggested, and it does get repetitive. I'm with you. But on the flip side, it is one of the best things. I tell people sometimes, I'm like, make sure you're getting your exercise when you're really running that mouse wheel in your head. Double down on it. Like I said, Gil, are you doing that? And that's a culmination of things. Beyond the exercise, it's you being active. I talked about this yesterday. What do you guys do in a flow state here? That's the other thing, Gil. Do you have any things that create a flow state for yourself? Like Mike was on yesterday, that's usually on the live stream pretty regularly, and he said that, working on cars, he's a mechanic. That's a flow state for him. Anything works. The weather works, the music playing, situational small talk. I could get the flow going, but I don't know how to start it. We'll try different things. Don't be afraid to fail is what I would say. If you get denied, getting rejected is better than regret, right? If you go, and when I was younger, like I've told people before, I'm not a pickup artist. I wasn't Ronnie Romance. I mean, so I don't, if, like I said, I believe you're in your early 20s. At that stage, there was a lot of time, I should have said something to her, right? Say something. Say something. Here's what I would say, EG. Stop trying. Stop trying to be cute or trying to be cool or trying to be masculine. Be as genuine and honest and upfront as yourself, right? And if you're not happy with yourself, then that means you need to work on some other things. Tequila, that helps on a cold approach. Man, I don't like tequila. I've had a few bad incidents over the years drinking tequila. Start a small talk with random people in the elevator, the checkout, the bus stop. Work yourself up there. That's what I mean. Make it a practice. I mean, like I said, I go to a cafe, I go to a restaurant. I always make small talk with everyone and give small compliments. Oh, I like your dress. That's nice. Just little ones, and people open up. And when people talk, listen to what they're saying and give them back what they said to you, showing that you're listening to them. Actually, I used to work in hotels the last 6 months. Well, that's a broad statement because in a hotel, you can work in a lot of places where you don't really talk to people. I mean, who are you interacting in the hotel with? With the guests at reception? Or you actually interact? Like I had a friend that used to do room service at a really nice hotel. It didn't really open him up because he didn't make an effort. He would sit there and gossip with the other guys that did room service, more or less. I asked her what was the plan. She said she quit her job when her contract expires, and we met up. Plus, she is really shaken up. I'm heading to Havana. Wow. Little Cuba. Heading to Havana. Easy to spend good plate down there. Then it's all Thailand. Well, yeah, you're the one that asked me about Thailand, so you were asking me about dating over here. You probably want to, before you come over here, maybe brush up on some basic Thai. I'm not going to get into, Thai language and stuff, but you can go online and do that to know a little bit of Thai because compared to most countries, the English isn't great here. In the resort areas and stuff, that would be one thing to do. Anyone else got some greatest moments in your life? Ozzy, you didn't share your greatest moment. Mayo gave me his greatest moment. EG, you got a greatest moment in your life you want to share? Brash Cat, you got a greatest moment in your life you want to share? Everyone threw in. I mean, the greatest moment is something like you should be like, yeah, I want to share that. What to do if my ex wants to hang out? Ask yourself, what's your intentions? And if you can hang out with her without trying to get back together immediately or be awkward and uncomfortable, if you're in a space where you're centered and you're happy with yourself and you could go into that situation and hang out without any expectations and just be in the present moment, then that would probably be a good place for you. If you're sitting there pacing the room going, okay, yeah, we're going to meet up. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? That's probably a bad position to be in. But on the flip side, put yourself in that position. And then when you're there, don't bring up old shit. If that helps. I actually got a live coaching in 20 minutes. Throw some likes up there. People got 11 on deck. Anyone else want to share their greatest moment in their life? It just seems so dramatic, right? A lot of people are like, well, I don't have a greatest moment, really. Second greatest moment was going to watch my favorite comedy show live with my dad, Mrs. Brown's Boys. I don't know that. I'm not familiar with that. It was a early birthday for my 21st. I met the Mrs. Brown actor himself after the show and other actors. Cool. Yeah, I've heard that one before, Ozzy. I don't have any kids, but friends always tell me that. Cheers, lad. Thanks for the like, whoever that is. Actually, it's my second greatest. My delivery room when my daughter came to life, very spiritual. I've heard that. I've had friends that are like contractors and construction workers say, I just cried, man. Yeah, and they say it's just a moment. Right on for sharing that, Ozzy. That's a blessed moment, man. DP, what are you drinking? It is coffee, ice, and a little bit of apple juice. And the apple juice is 100% apple juice with black currant. And the apple juice is from Tasmania, Dylan, which was where you're from. Just a little bit, like a little bit of that. Makes it a little sweeter. It's nice. Just tried it out, started trying it out. Took a whole month of that before we tabled the subject. Lasted 6 months, but walking on eggshells in some work, let me tell you. That's why I'm 3 months no contact doing that work. I don't, Mayo, that's a little confusing on what you wrote there. I'm sorry, bud. Can't speak on it. DP, what are you drinking? Yeah, I guess it looks a little weird, huh? And with the apple juice, just like it's a really strong, sweet apple juice because it's 100%. So it cuts the coffee nicely. Anyone else got a greatest moment they want to share out there? Thanks for that, Ozzy. And the thing about this is when you come back to that in a random moment, just like when the consistency looks weird, yeah, because the apple juice is 100%. I think that's what makes it a little. Oh, you know what? I put a splash of almond milk in there. That's probably what it is. That's what it is. Does it look nasty? That's what it is. I put a little bit of almond milk. That's what that is. 5 months of dating, 6 weeks no contact. She came back, then 1 month of fun, 6 months of eggshells. Oh, because you got back. Mayo, you're the one that you said you used the Brad Browning thing and you got her back, but it ended up being on her terms. And what you'll find, Mayo, when you read the Rational Mail, it sounds, if you're walking on eggshell, no? Okay, that was quick. You were walking on eggshells, but yes, huh? Okay. I have a good memory, man. I'm pretty sure that's what you told me. If you're walking on eggshells for 6 months in a relationship, you're in her frame. You're doing everything she wants to do, and she knows it. And it's not fun for her either. And it's really hard to flip those tables. You can do it, but you're not going to do it while you're in that relationship. So, playing not to lose in a relationship is not fun. Right? Just like we're talking about basketball and sports. When you start to play not to lose, you start to play, like defense. Like I always tell people, go on offense sometimes. Everyone's going on defense. How do I not lose? If I try my best, but I don't succeed, try again. Try a different path. So a lot of times you're trying the same thing over and over again. Oh, I'm just going to approach people. I'm going to go up. Are you trying to try the same approach in a different area or a different venue, a different place? It's just like I was mentioning this guy earlier that lived in New York. He's a really smart guy, and he's going to nightclubs, and he's in a scene that's kind of not his element, and he's cold approaching women, and he's getting shut down every time. I'm saying, if I go, what are you good at? I'm good at school. I get A's. I'm like, well, then offer yourself as a tutor. Start meeting other people that study hard. Put yourself in a library atmosphere or a coffee cafe where a lot of people will study. Approach those women. How do I answer the questions on the PDF file? Do I need to go back to the website, or can I answer them directly? You can answer them directly. Whatever makes you comfortable. If you want to just number them, You don't have to copy them onto the PDF file. You can cut and paste and answer them below, however you want to do it. I can figure it out, or just send it back in an email. Gil's asking, he's going to do a live coaching. He's answering some questions pertaining to his situation. Keep showing up, my new model. It's simple, but it's good. Because when you're having bad days and you think like shit's not going to get better, sometimes you just got to go keep showing up. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It's going to be a better day. I'm going to do good things. It's true. All right. Anyone else got a greatest moment out there? EG, did you share your greatest moment? You got these, you like to ask some quick questions, which I appreciate. You're always on deck. You got a greatest moment you shared? Ozzy, thanks for yours. Dylan, thanks for yours. DP, did you share your greatest moment by chance? I mean, this is something you should want to share, right? Brash Cat, if you're still on deck, you need to share your greatest moment. My point in all this, too, you did share yours. DP. Yes, 140 pounds. That's a fucking achievement. Good for you. EG, I'm out. Peace. Take it easy, buddy. Yes, you can, Gil. You can number them and reply to your email. Sure. Got 15 years seniority this week and got a ring from work. Not a greatest moment, but still nice recognition. All right. So when I did this for a class I had, and we broke down the feelings or the moments of these greatest moments, right? A lot of it was surprise. Like a lot of people mentioned a surprise birthday party. And I think like a surprise birthday party, because there's so much emotion in your surprise. Like when I mentioned hitting the game-winning shot for basketball, it's surprising. It's exciting. And the other thing is, if you got to share the moment with a group, I think that if anyone's out there thinking about like how to be happy, a lot of people are like, oh, how am I happy? This is part of self-improvement, all these things. A big part of it is finding areas where you have camaraderie. Do you have a third greatest moment happening soon? I'm getting a guitar and learning to sing. Also, when I become famous, I'll pay you to be one of my bodyguards. I'll have a load of girls after me. I'm not a bodyguard. I wouldn't be a good bodyguard. I would sit there chatting with all the people, and I'm one of those people that would probably like let a lot of people backstage. But right on for your dream, man. Keep living it. Keep living it. Yeah, my first, see? And when you thought of that moment, Nike won, you got fucking chills. Tell me I'm wrong. You were like, yeah, that was fucking cool, man. Hell yeah. And yeah, my first Grand Slam, I was unforgettable moment. Those 4 runs put us to win the game. A Grand Slam. I don't care what age you are or what level of competition it is. That moment, this is my point. These small moments, they bring you so much joy. And that's what I'm saying. Camaraderie, you were with a team. It was surprising. You didn't know you were going to hit it, right? It's not like you Babe Ruthed it and called your shot. But those are things that you look back on. I was like, that was a fucking fantastic moment, you know? And it's a moment. It's a moment, right? And you're going to have more of those come up in life, right? I'll make you a millionaire before you know it. What do you say, Mac? You can't turn that offer from me, Shirley. Here's the thing. At 38 years old, trust me, I'd love to be a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire, but I'd like to do it on my terms, my way, doing it in a way that I'm proud. If I write a book and this channel grows and I was able to make that kind of money, then I would be proud. I think I'm not talking about you, Dylan, but I think a lot of people get caught up in just making lots of money and lose track of how they're doing it and what good it's bringing to the world. Maybe that sounds a bit dramatic, but it's true, man. It's like how many people out there that are stinking rich and they're not really happy. It's because they're not serving humanity or doing things for other people, right? Look at Tom's shoes, right? It's like those shoes aren't very attractive or cool looking shoes, but the fact that this guy's given, I think he gives a pair of those shoes for every person, or no, I'm sorry, not every person. He gives for every pair of shoes that are bought, he gives a free pair away to a charity in Africa or some sort. That's outstanding, man. That's a great way to do things. So I'd say if you're going to make me a millionaire by being your bodyguard or your entourage, I'll pass. But if you want to be a famous singer, good for you. Good for you. I appreciate the thought, Dylan. All right. Anyone else got something else on the greatest moments here? Thanks for that Nike one. That was my point too. Like it, I think that when you're on a platform, if you will, like this, people want to make it a little deeper than it is. But that's what I was getting at, that Grand Slam. I was in a Little League World Series when I was really young and had a few hits, and I remember that playing well. When you'll get monetized, I'll support the channel. It's coming. Pete Pablo. Petey Pablo? Is that for the North Carolina thing? Anyone else out there? Anyone else want to drop their greatest moment? Just checking some things. Throw some likes up. I got 12 people here on deck. If you like, throw me one. If you like what we're doing here on this live stream, how it's going, whatnot. If you don't, all good, all is well. Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink is good. For the podcast, right? Yeah. You know, if you want to you really like him, Tim Ferriss podcast, he interviews Jocko Willink. If you want to, cheers, lad. Thanks for the thumbs up out there. Tim Ferriss podcast and Jocko, I don't know how to say his name, dude. Willink is good. He gets interviewed by Tim Ferriss, who I think gives a really good interview, asks some really good questions. If you want to check that out, Nike One. So sometimes you see someone on a podcast thing and you don't get, when they get interviewed, you really get to the bottom of how they came up and different things. I'd love to have a podcast where I get to interview people like that. That'd be a lot of fun. Poutland. Dame Lillard. I like Dame. Oakland product. Anyone else want to throw in a greatest moment out here? Any questions or comments? I'm gonna give it about 10 more minutes. I got a live coaching coming up. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a good book. I think I have it right here, dude. Bam. Yeah, it's a classic. A lot of the stuff in it, from being in retail and being in sales early on, is stuff I kind of found out on my own. But I definitely recommend it to people. Actually, for EG, who was asking all those questions earlier, I should have recommended that as a basic book. I mean, the idea of knowing people's names seems like a very simple idea, but it's actually deeper than that. And I've actually assigned How to Win Friends and Influence People to some business classes. The Joker, Jokic. Anyone else out there have some quick questions as I'm closing this out? I got about 6 minutes left. Or you want to drop your greatest moment in your life? Your greatest moment in your life. Absolutely greatest moment. Anyone else out there? No? Want to close this out pretty soon or what? I don't know if you were talking about an app to monitor emotions, state of minds. Dailyo is a great one. I recommend it if you like stats. I haven't heard if you're talking about an app to monitor emotions and state of minds. Haven't heard of it. I'll check it out. Dailyo. Anyone else out there? Dailyo is an app to monitor emotions and state of minds. Thanks for sharing that, Mayo. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but I guess I recommend it if you like stats. I would like to. I wish I liked stats more. That was actually a class in college that it took me 2 or 3 times to pass. We're back. No calls yet. We're back. No calls yet. I don't know what that means. I'm out, Mac. Have a good one, bro. When you go live next time, the topic, a hard one for a challenge. I always love a challenge, and this topic was a hard one for a bit. Catch you later. To track your progress when you were in no contact or whatever. Okay. Make the topic a hard one for a challenge. Okay, so make it a more difficult topic. ARLD Gaming, we're back. No calls yet. What does that mean? I'm not sure. Yeah, and if any of you guys want to send me ideas for topics for future live streams, we can do that. This is a topic that I think maybe you're thinking like, oh, this doesn't have a lot to do with getting my ex back or my breakup, but actually it has a lot to do with you realizing that, cheers, lad, thanks for the like, whoever that was. This has a lot to do with you actually realizing that there's other moments, and actually your breakup is going to have a bunch of little moments. Like you break down, a lot of times you break down life in these ideas that, well, this happened. It was a moment. Cheers, lad. Thanks for the like. It was a moment, and there's little defining moments throughout. And some people don't want to share those moments. And some of the moments can be bad moments. You know, like in my breakup that I've discussed many times in different videos, there was defining moments where something happened and then I'm done. Something happened and I'm going to do this. And I remember those. And I don't know if those were the greatest moments, but those were more like epiphanies. So that's a different topic for a different day. I just find it interesting to entertain those questions for yourself. Thanks for the likes, people. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Are you, Mayo, are you taking direct credit for that? For getting them in? Are you guys good buddies? That Rory stopped by and hollered? Mayo was interesting. This other guy that comes on sometimes, Headwork, was saying that he learned about my show from Corey Wayne mentioning it. And I was like, I don't know if Corey, and he goes, oh no. Shamelessly, yes. Well, right on. Thanks, bud. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you enter his live streams a lot, and he said you mentioned me. The fact that he came into this live stream today, yeah, sure. I know that Clara Bell, who's not on today, who comes on sometimes, actually wants us to do something together. It's one of those things. I don't know what we would do together if we'd host a live stream together, but he's doing really good with his channel, so I'm happy for him. Happy for him. 2 more minutes. Any closing thoughts here? I'd like to go 2 hours, but I got a live coaching. I love these live streams. This is fun for me. This isn't work per se. Anyone got some closing questions? If you want to drop what your greatest moment was, thanks for that Nike one too. That Grand Slam. Isn't it funny? Whatever team you were in Little League, you still kind of like them a little bit. Like I was a Red Sox. Yeah, I'd say Red Sox, not Red Sox. I was a Red Sox and I was a Brave. And the Braves won. We won the World Series, like his little World Series for Little League, not the big World Series, but the final game. And yeah, isn't it funny though? And I mean, you had the cheap version of the cap. You didn't have a pro hat. Thanks, Mayo. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting Rory involved, and thanks for the NBA updates, bud. I appreciate it. Yeah, Red Sox, and I had the hat. I used to wear it to school, and I was a Brave. And I kind of, looking back, this is how psychology works. I'm a Giants fan, right? Like you're a Padres fan. I'm born and raised Giants fan. Big time Giants fan, even though I haven't really followed them this year. But my other 2 teams that I probably would say, I'd probably be like Red Sox number 2 and like Braves. And it's probably because I wore the hat and was on the Little League team. Kind of random, huh? My hat right here, dude. My old 80s Giants hat from Grandpa. Okay. Hooper, Mac, you truly believe your ex is the one? Mariners, bro. I loved Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck. Remember the Upper Deck card? That's when I had, that was the first autograph, and I bought it at a card show, and it's probably fake. Mac, if you truly believe your ex is the one, but she's in a new relationship, what can you do? Is nothing the best answer? This is a really good question, actually, Hooper. I don't believe in the one, for starters. I don't believe that you have one soulmate. I do believe that you have a deep connection with an individual at the right time in your life, and putting the idea that you've met the one, extremely limited in a universe or world of 7 billion people with 3 billion women. And you got to let go of the one. In the moment in your life, she was the one. You had this great connection. But the idea of putting that relationship on a pedestal like that, there is a possibility, a strong possibility, if you let go of this relationship at some point, that you can meet another one that's special. And you just look at other people in your life that are in their 50s or 60s that have been married a few times, or been married 20 years. Obviously, that was the one if they got married, and then they got remarried, and the next relationship was better. So people are proving that point all the time. What you need to let go of is that not necessarily she was the one you had a good relationship, but if she's in a new relationship, that's clarity for you to move forward, my friend. And I know it's difficult, but you need to cut off all contact. You need to cut off all contact, not because you're bitter, not because you're angry, not because you never want to see her again, because you're right. I think it is the only answer at this point. You don't want to be waiting, hoping, and trying when she's with someone else doing her thing. And that's an answer that you probably like. Sometimes when people ask that question, you're looking for a different answer, but actually that is the answer. And it's like if someone said, "Oh, how can I gain 20 pounds of muscle and get a six-pack?" Well, you're probably going to have to go to the gym for a year and follow a certain diet. That doesn't sound like fun. Is there any way easier to do that? It's the same thing with your situation. Go into no contact, keep playing hoops, do things that you really enjoy, get by another day, keep showing up at your job, find a purpose. All these things you hear all the time. You're like, I'm tired of hearing that. The reason why people are tired of hearing it is because they don't want to do it, because it takes time and work, and it's going to take some pain and healing in the process. But it's called small victories, my friend. And at some point you said you want to do a live coach, and we can unpack it fully, right? I know it's tough, Hooper. I'm with you. And the fact that someone that you really cared about is in a new relationship, that's tough. But you need to keep that out of your frame as much as possible. If she comes up in your mind and it's really bothering you, wish her well. Wish the guy she's with well. I mean, you don't have to sit there and be so caught up on the idea of how you're going to get her back, or if she's the one. Because when you place the title "she's the one," you have this huge idea of loss in your head, that you lost like a gold ring, and it's not like that. Some individuals made another choice to put their energy somewhere else, and you're probably not going to get that back anytime soon. You're certainly not going to force it in your way. And if she's with someone else, she's not coming back anytime soon. So getting into no contact, getting into things that make you happy, getting into your greatest moment, contributing to stuff like this helps. It's just a little bit at a time. They're here in Carlsbad. Upper Deck, bro, was the biz back in the day. Yeah, it was. Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink, How to Win Friends and Influence are good books on communication. Oh, okay, is that what you were saying? I think he already left. Okay. All right. Thanks. Hope that I answered it for you, Hooper. And thanks for always being a part of these chats, bud. I appreciate it. Good question. Anyone else with a closing question here, or a greatest moment they want to share? 10 on deck, 9 on deck. Probably won't be talking tomorrow. I want to make a string of talking every day as far as these live streams go. Anyone else closing it out? Peace and love, my friend. Peace and love. Hope to make it out to San Diego at some point. I'm not sure though. Just got to commit, right? And go, I'm going back to Cali. And May's a good month because I don't want to be in that June gloom. Anyone else out there? I'm going to close this out. Everyone that's been a part of this. You don't owe me nothing, bud. It was great. The live coaching session we had was great, man. It was great. And you wrote 2,300 word story. I haven't measured that. Thanks, DP. You have a good day too. I haven't measured that, but Dark Kion, I don't know. I haven't measured that 2,300 words. There might have been someone before you that did 3,000 words. I'm pretty sure. And that guy ended up being a regular client for a few months. And now he's got a new girlfriend. He's doing really well. He sends me update emails like once every couple months. Like, I'm doing so good now. And his story was deep, man. And it wasn't necessarily that it was the worst story or the worst breakup. It's just the way you convey things. That's all. Everyone's different. And that's good that you were able to get it all out. So, all right, I got to run. I'm already a few minutes late on this live coaching. So everyone out there, thanks for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. And see you again on the next one.